And it's now day 6 of drawing Ozzy. Things have moved on, but there's a bit of a challenge trying to get hair sorted. It's a hair study more than anything. So what I'm doing at the moment is starting the day by trying to thin down hair so it looks like hair. And this is work that, this is work that when you see the finished picture, chances are you won't notice it, you'll just focus on the face. And you won't notice all of this high detail work that's had to go into creating hair. It's hard. Every portrait has a challenge, but when you're doing this kind of work, it becomes more difficult. But I can spend hours just doing this. It's what I said on the last video, that people have said, I wish I could draw like you. Well, this is the reality of drawing like me. And this is the reality of drawing physically, rather than doing a plagiarism chimera with AI. You can easily have records just, well, I time it with records, but you can easily be stuck doing this, and then suddenly the album's finished and you don't realise you've played the entire album. The only thing you realise when time progresses is you're a bit tired at the end of it and you need a rest. Now, going over some points that I said in the last video. This is video 3, by the way. I've found the film that I was on about, so I will talk about that and show you a few things. I'll try and keep this video short because when I'm drawing with a camera, holding the camera in my left hand, I'm not as quick as I am if I draw with the music on and it's just me and the pencil and the drawing. But where I am at the moment, that has got to be made into more of a hair. It's got to look more like hair. It's getting there, but it's hard. So Ozzy at the moment, and let me just show you, it is real. There's the paper. So the hair is going to be the biggest part. This has got to be extremely shaded. It hasn't got to be fully dark, but it's got to be shaded. The cheeks have got to be done. His mouth is pretty much in, but it's got to be deepened. This section has got to be worked on, and obviously around here, around the chin and the cape. But as I draw right-handed, I'm going to be working down like that. So this section here, that's going to be the last section to do, because I don't want to rub it and cause problems. That's why this section isn't done properly. It's painting yourself into a corner. But just to show you the eyes where I am, it really is just doing this for eyes and trying to get that iris sorted. I mean, the pupil is just a black void, and it's got to be very black. I mean, on the pupil I'll end up doing this 14B and just really making it jet black so you can see depth, but I'm nowhere near the depth at the moment. I'm hoping that I'll be able to finish some of this section today, but it's where my mind takes me when I'm drawing. There is no hard and fast rule, but in a general rule, you've got, if I do that, then that gives me the tone balance for this, because you've got dark there, and then I can build. But the thing about copying a photocopy, which is what I'm doing here, you'll never get that tone with a photocopy, because when you do black and white, it's not full black and white. There's reds, there's blues, there's greens, and it's colour on top. If you just printed black and white, you would get a really bad image. So you have to print full colour for black and white. Now it's that kind of thing that if you've got a printer, if you print out something, a black and white photo, and let's say you put water on it, it spreads out and you can see different colours. They're the colour of the ink. The difficult thing is, because printer ink is so damn expensive now, it becomes an expensive job to print out, and you have to be very accurate to print out, because it's you know, it's a waste of money. And when you finish the picture, you're throwing the picture away, the printout picture, because you don't need it anymore. You could work on photos, but I've got photos in the house, and some of them are very rare press photos from the 60s and 70s. Now, if I was going to buy a press photo, like say this is a press photo, I have got quite a bit of money needing to lay out, because some of these are very rare photos, they're very expensive, so I end up hunting and trying to find JPEGs, usually. I'm having a devil of a job finding a picture of one artist at the moment, who has got to be put in here. I think I've got the picture, but I would like a better image to work on. I grew up with his music. I'm not going to say who it is, but I grew up with this guy's music, this band's music. They were in the charts when I was a child. They've got to be put in this book. But it's finding the right picture that suits and works well for the person you're drawing. You're always aware that you're honouring a memory of somebody, or you're paying respect to somebody who's alive, and that really is one reason I'm never drawing politicians and soap stars and sports stars, because, to be honest, I don't like the subject. But let me show you something, and I'll finish off after I've finished this. Now, when you're doing a book, this is my pitch book. It's basically, I'm not going to show everything in it, I'm not going to show anything in it, but it's basically a ring binder, A5, and I've put, you see where it says 42 there? So I've got some paper, ripped it up, put number 40, page numbers on it, so I know where I am, and then I'm using these to write down the name of somebody. So yellow is somebody I haven't done before, I haven't done yet. Pink is a portrait that I've drawn, and then let's say orange or purple is one that I've worked on the page digitally and actually finished the page. Now, when you're doing this, you end up with something like that, which is a pitch book that I created. It's also known as the Bible. Not a religious thing, but when you're doing a pitch book, especially for a cartoon series, it can be called the Bible because everything that you put in, whether it's made up on the spot or not, becomes cartoon lore, becomes product lore. So you end up, this is like the golden rules of the project that you're creating. Now, this was really just an art book, just to show my artwork. And the plan to do this was pretty simple. I am going to create something like this, and I am going to send it to agents. And then America. I was going to send it to American agents. This was printed in 2024. It cost me £5 an issue, just to get it into this version. And I've sent it to a few agents and haven't heard anything back with this kind of stuff in it. But this is how you create a pitch book. Now, I'm creating something very similar to this with the portraits that I'm doing. Now, I mentioned about a Penelope Spheris film in the last video. That's this film. Now, this is part 2. The first one dealt with the punk era of the late 70s, early 80s. And I bought it because there are some really good interviews. You've got, Alice Cooper, Ozzy, Poison. Ozzy does take up a really good chunk of this. Aerosmith, Kiss, Motorhead. There's some groups that I don't know about, but it's interviewing the people who went to the concerts. This is an American disc, by the way. I think you can find it on streaming, but it's an American disc. But I've got a player that'll run everything, so I don't really care about whether it's locked or not. It's not, but I don't think it's even region 1. I think it's just, oh, it's Shout Factory. I can't, oh yeah, there we go, but you can get by that with unlocking players. Now, the thing about this film is there is a really good interview with Ozzy, and he comes off so intelligent. He's also cooking, and people thought that it was a joke, that he was just splatting eggs all over the place. He wasn't, he was drunk. But he comes off pin sharp, absolute pin sharp thought. But what this did, it interviewed the fans. Let's go back to this. It interviewed the fans of a metal gig, of metal gigs. Now, there is a thing about, we don't really get it so much now because people have got social media and they're connected to social media. But you still get it. If you get somebody who has never experienced film before, never seen a camera, a film camera, proper film camera for a show, they'll turn the camera on and it can be like deer caught in the headlights. Deer, rabbit, whatever you want to say, it's caught in the headlights, and they will have the I don't know what to say, but you will also get the effect of I'm trusting you know Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, and when they did the end of the show where they had the history of San Dimas, you had a football jock, an American football jock, and you could tell that he hadn't prepared, and he was dealing with silence, and he was going to fail, and then he went, San Dimas high school football rules, and they cheer and he wins. So you'll get that, you'll get some elements of people who will that kind of playing up to the camera, and that's sort of what you get here. But the documentary sort of had a negative effect. As much fun as it was seeing these rock stars, there was one rock star in a pool with his, I can't remember who it was, but there was one rock star in a pool. He was drunk on vodka, and his mum was sitting there at the side of the pool, and he was like a lost little boy, and he was extremely drunk. Then they start interviewing the fans, and the fans are, well, while it's a good documentary, there are elements of it that say, look at this group. Not so much like when Malcolm Muggeridge interviewed the Sex Pistols and he goaded them into swearing on TV and belittled them. But that kind of thing. Put a camera on and hope that they do something stupid. Now, I like Penelope Spheris. I mean, Penelope Spheris gave us the Wayne's World movie. Again, here's another thing. Wayne's World, as lovable as these guys were, it had the idea that metalheads were a bit dim. I mean, this book came out when the film came out, and I still love it. I still like that mindset. But this spread onto this, which spread onto this. Again, this film, fun, enjoyable, but, well, they're a bit thick. And it shows they're a bit thick. Well-meaning, but a bit thick. The seed was set that rock and metal fans, weren't the sharpest tools in the box. And whenever something is popular, it's always ripe for ridicule, for parody and ridicule. Sometimes you need that. But what it did with rock, people thought that us rock fans weren't that intelligent. There was an element of it, and rock ended up fading out during the time of Airheads, and especially in the UK, when what we had during this time, which was, what's the date, 1994. So 1994 comes around, rock is still in the charts, but it's fading out for Euro club beat stuff and boy bands and girl bands, and it was only a couple of years until the Spice Girls and Oasis and yeah, and Britpop. A lot of the rock music that we had was American imports. We had a few rock bands, but they were everything was changing direction. And you'd usually found that America had rock and country, and England had the Euro club trash stuff that I certainly didn't like. I wasn't part of that scene. There was more samples than a urine clinic in it. It was, you will like this and you'll get used to it. Well, no. Much the same as I still want to see RT television. On that rule, and I'm switching off in a moment, but on that rule, I would rather watch with a TV that isn't monitoring what I watch. I don't want a spy tech. It's weird how, if you look at films and TV shows from the 60s and 70s, these guys will walk into a, sorry, I'm just trying to find a pencil here. That's it. These guys will walk into a hotel room and shush everyone for not talking, and search the room for bugs. And walls have ears. And they will find bugs behind picture frames, and they'll find them behind in vases, and they'll put them in water. And there we are. Now we've got a clean room. Now we are carrying mobile phones around with us that are tracking our lives. They're tracking our position with a satellite. We're putting speakers in our house that link to Google and Amazon. We have got TVs that are monitoring everything that we watch. I mean, my TV, it's a 4K. And since I bought it, it was just a basic 4K TV that will run everything. Then there was an update. Now this was running everything from for about 3 years, and it was doing everything fine. I had no complaints. Suddenly, it's buried the picture zoom option into multiple menus, and sometimes it won't allow me to change the ratio. So I've had to set HDMI 1 to auto ratio so I can watch films in widescreen. I've had to set HDMI 2 to cinema mode so I can watch things like Mission Impossible on the TV series on Blu-ray, because it runs at a different ratio. And then I have had to switch HDMI 3 to 4.3 so I can watch old TV shows that are in the 4:3 ratio, the original TV ratio. I used to just be able to switch it on. There'd be a menu come up. Which ratio do you want? Oh, I'll select this. I've had to change ratios all the time with a widescreen TV. There's one disc. Let me just show you something here. There we are. So this is the DVD of it, of the Memoirs of a Madman. So this is the DVD edition. This is the one that is difficult to get hold of. You can get the audio, but this DVD is a bit complicated to get hold of. So these are the music videos. And you get music videos and interviews, and there's, I think it's 2 discs. Yeah, there's 2 discs and a booklet. So this has got the music videos, this has got the live footage and the interviews. The ratios are all over the place. So if I watch it now, some of the early recordings are going to be in 4:3 because they were shot for that, and some of the later recordings are going to be in 16:9. So I literally have to go to the back of the TV, pull the plug out and put it into another socket. I shouldn't have to do this. And it's the same as going into shops now and being forced to pay with card and have the automated tills. I don't like it, I don't want it, and I'm not doing it. Oh, I could go on with this. But I need to take a break from filming, and I need to draw without cameras on. I'm just doing this to show what I do and prove that it's all done by hand. So this is where I am today. By tomorrow I'm hoping just to have this section done, but I'll flip between the face and the hair, but it's going to take longer than it's going to take over 2 weeks. This is going to take over 2 weeks, easy. Okay, bye.